Hi BookTube, this is Kelly with Books I'm Not Reading, and this is another edition of Fake Crate. It's October, and so we're thinking about all things scary, and I think for many people seeing someone have a seizure is scary. So I wanted to use this as an opportunity to talk to you about the fact that I have epilepsy. And I've been really inspired by a few booktubers in the last couple of months who have posted videos talking about their own health issues and struggles. Thank you for being so brave to do that. I am terribly open with people about my epilepsy, in part because so many people try to conceal it. It's a very stigmatized disease. Anyway, so I see the passages in the Bible where Jesus heals someone who seems possessed, and they fall into the fire, those sorts of things, and I really, 9 times out of 10, I really believe that that person probably had epilepsy. It's not a new disease by any stretch of the imagination. 1 in 10 people, I believe, will have a seizure at some point in their life. Doesn't mean they have epilepsy or seizure disorder. Sometimes it's just from head trauma. But I wanted to talk to you about it, and I'm also going to link below to an excellent video that talks about what to do if you see someone who has what we call a tonic-clonic or a grand mal seizure. And basically, essentially, you want to make sure that anything that could injure them is out of the way. Don't put anything in their mouth. That's a huge misconception. So don't put anything in their mouth. And if you can, time it. It's going to feel a lot longer to you than it actually is. But when seizures approach the 3-minute mark, some say 5 minutes, which that's a really long seizure. But at a certain point, it can seem like maybe the seizure is not going to stop. And that's when you want to call 911 or whatever the number for emergency services in your country is. So, but definitely the video below will go into more in-depth about how to respond and react and help that person. So I have been living with this disease since 2007, and I just want to share a few books with you. I didn't bring a lot of stuff out here. I didn't bring my medications out because they cost a fortune, and I wouldn't want anything to happen to them. I do have a medical ID bracelet that I wear when I'm traveling, but today don't have it on so much. So anyway, so the first book I want to talk to you about doesn't have anything to do with epilepsy. It's The Thing About Jane Spring by Sharon Krum, and this is the book I read while I was in the hospital when I was first diagnosed. My friend and boss, Stephanie, brought this by, and I think it was just what I needed at the time. Total distraction, although I was so drugged up I don't really remember the book very well. So if you have any thoughts about this book, please feel free to leave a comment below. But Jane Spring thinks that she just can't get a second date. She just doesn't understand why no one will fall madly in love with her, and she ends up watching a Doris Day marathon one evening and realizes that Doris Day always gets her man. So she tries to essentially become Doris Day. And I think it's a fantastic premise for a novel. I do remember enjoying it, but like I said, I was on some serious medication when I read this book. So I can't 100% guarantee it, but I would like to read it again. So after I got out of the hospital a couple times, Jason and I started reading things like this, books about epilepsy, and I think this is one of the few that we still have. The truth is, there are so many different kinds of seizures. and even people who have seizures like I do, you know, the way their body responds to the medication could be different. There's all sorts of variables. It just doesn't, there's just not a lot of rhyme or reason to it. So, I mean, this is 199 answers about epilepsy, and I mean, look how skinny it is. Like, this can't possibly cover the whole spectrum. But anyway, it was helpful to us at the time when we were just learning about the disease. And then Jason was really brave and sought out other books about epilepsy, whereas I did not want to think about it and did not want to focus on it. I needed to think about something else other than my epilepsy. But Jason has read a couple really great books, or he says they're really great. I haven't read them. The first one is called Electricity by Ray Robinson, and this is about a young woman, Lily O'Connor, who has epilepsy, and she moves to London in this book, and her seizures start to get worse when she makes that move. So apparently it was made into a movie, but the movie was never released in America, so I haven't seen it, but I do want to read this. I'm not trying to escape my epilepsy as much as I was initially, which is why I started reading Pulitzers, so that I could think about something else. But I think I could handle something like this now. And the other book that I want to read and haven't yet is called Epileptic by David Bede. Some people find this term offensive. I am not one of them. But, and it's a graphic novel, as you could probably tell from the cover. And David Bede's older brother has epilepsy, and so it's about their relationship and their life and dealing with that. And again, for a long time, I kind of saw this on the shelf and was a little wary of it, but I do think I'm finally getting ready to read this book. So those are just a few titles. If you know of any other books where epilepsy is a major plot element, I would love to hear it. And if there's any books that have helped you as far as coping with your own struggles, your own health issues, please make a comment, leave them below so that other people can see them and I can see them and learn about them. We are a community, and there are those of you out there that I do worry about and wish that I lived closer so that I could check up on you and make sure you're okay. But I think sharing books that help each other can be a great way to do that. So anyway, so this is my my miniature fake crate here about epilepsy. I hope you've learned something, and yeah, again, please leave a comment below about the books. If you've read them and enjoyed them, I'd love to hear that too. So I look forward to your feedback as always. Thanks so much, BookTube. Talk to you later.